So I've set the choke. It should start right up, right?
Nope.
It didn't start.
It's not firing at all.
Give it some gas.
Didn't even cough.
Well, I shouldn't have to. Remember, I said you just tapped the pedal? Well, I did that by hand, and nothing happened. And it's kind of really strange, don't you think? So then you come in here and you pump it a few times, and hopefully it'll start. If I can get in here. I gotta get all the way in again.
I need somebody small to go in.
I need longer arms.
Oh, I'm almost there. There she goes.
That's exactly right. Gas is low. It's dripping. See the drip? Okay. No, it's really not supposed to do that. Now, look carefully at where it was dripping. And look at the manifold.
Well, I have the same thing on the T-Bird.
Grab a couple that are similar in thickness.
Those are cock rings.
Don't make me get out the butt plug. Okay, this is a nitrile rubber O-ring. And this is what was used in carburetors and as regular O-rings and sealing for most of the time. I pass that around so you can see it. That's NBR, nitrile, Buna-N. It has a couple of different names. It has pretty good fuel resistance. However, it absorbs alcohol. And once it binds with alcohol, it absorbs moisture as well. So the ring will grow, it'll get very fat and very soft. This is a fluoroelastomer, trade name Viton. It's a little bit stiffer, and it has a different chemical formulation, which makes it largely impervious to modern fuels. If you look carefully,
It's still dripping.
yes, of course, it's going to drip until this float bowl is empty. That's why it took so long to start. So if you're running into a car that is hard starting, that means that the fuel is leaking. It's going somewhere. Now, on some carburetors like the Rochester Quadrajet and the Carter AFB, it leaks into the intake manifold. On this style, the Autolite and the Hollies, it leaks out of the float bowl, just like you see here. So this carburetor, they want me to replace the carburetor. It really doesn't need to be replaced. If I buy the correct elastomers, I can fix it. And you can tell this is the wrong color elastomer because it's black, right? It's going to be modern fuel elastomers will either be orange or they'll be that color green. So that's this is a primary problem this car is having.
The gaskets, like if you're splitting it and there's the big gaskets all the way around, that material changes as well, or?
Yeah, everything. Keep in
Every
mind,
piece.
those are diaphragms, right? They're diaphragms. So that is, it's actually a rolling diaphragm that's in there for the accelerator pump, and it is made of an elastomer. And that elastomer is attacked. And actually, if you look it up and do research, what you find is that the material will pick up fuel and it will leach, meaning that the actual chemical composition is dissolved by the fuel. So you've got to have the correct elastomers in. This is a very common problem on this style of carburetor. You can buy the correct elastomers from race shops. They'll say it's an ethanol resistant fuel, like Summit or Jegs sells those on a regular basis.
I've got hordes of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is they're the Mustang people, that's the first thing they do is replace those so that it doesn't leak. And it's a danger, it's a safety thing.
So on newer cars, about what year did they start? Because with fuel injectors, you got rubber seals too. When did they start using the good stuff?
They started actually not long after this was built. I was putting Viton in my carburetors in the 80s. But the earlier carburetors that will have this problem, the other problem is that inexpensive carburetors or inexpensive rebuild kits out of China will have the wrong elastomers in them.
You said you started putting them in the 80s. I think he was asking when the
When the
OEMs did it.
manufacturers.
About the same time.
Okay.
About the same time. And it had to do with changes in fuel formulations because we were migrating towards lower emission fuels. And in the Midwest, there's a summer formulation and a winter formulation. They have different vapor pressures, and winter gas works fine in the summer, but summer gas does not work well in the winter. It makes it for a very hard starting engine. Now, this ran for a little bit. The engine's very quiet, and it doesn't leak any oil. So the engine, and I've been told this engine was replaced. I'm going to take their word for it. Do you notice anything else that's been replaced on this engine besides the carburetor?
The distributor was kind of new.
It is. So it's a newer distributor. Now, I don't know if it's a point distributor or an electronic distributor. We can open it up and find out. Also note that the wires appear to be newer because they say 7mm on them. And they've got all this writing on them, high heat suppressor. They look like they're newer. This looks like it's newer too. I would surmise that this was replaced at the same time.
Jason's points, yeah.
And it is a point style ignition system.
Original points, yeah.
And this is a really cool feature. If you look, you can see that the terminals are brass.
Yay! Someone spent the extra $3.
I know, that is really uncommon. The problem that you have with aluminum terminals, and that's what they'll do, they'll be silvery, is they are very prone to corrosion, and it reduces the voltage that you have available to your spark plugs, which reduces your power, it reduces your ease of starting, and so on and so on. So, this is all relatively recent stuff. I wanted to see if there was a brand on that. I don't see it, do you? Nope.
No. No, but that cap looks like it'd be like a standard, or it has the brass. Because standard seems to be the only one lately that has it.
Right, but they've got standard now has 3 levels of product. They came out with a T series.
Yeah, they have
really
nice, mid-grade, and cheap shit.
Yes.
Cheap shit is readily available. The nice stuff, we usually have to order.
Yeah.
And the brand name is Standard.
Yeah, standard.
Standard motor products.
Very
I damaged that rim, or damaged that hubcap, probably damaged that tire. That one's 2011, this one's 2017.
This is also 2011.
So what's that one? Well, they're probably all, I'll bet you these 3 are 2011 and this one's 2017.
She might have blew the tire out, but she damaged your thing.
Yeah, 2011.
Yep.
Well, this molding.
Oh, she did mention that she was in an accident, and they did work on that side of the car.
Well,
Good eye.
Now, the date code is a week and year.
Right.
So it's the 20th week of 2017 on that. So the tires are